Brian Kelly turns to Ian Book, hoping he can bring consistency and big plays to the passing game.
In 9 years, Brian Kelly has had 7 different starting quarterbacks. Dane Christ, Tommy Rees, Everett Golson, Malik Zaire, Deshaun Kaiser, Brandon Wimbush, and now Ian Book. Some alarming facts from that lineup. Christ and Wimbush are the only 2 to start consecutive season openers. But Christ got pulled after just a half that second season.
Notre Dame trailing South Florida 13-0.
Wimbush after 3 games.
Their passing game, they need more productivity.
Of the 5 QBs no longer at Notre Dame, Rees, the current quarterback's coach, is the only starter who didn't transfer or leave early. And only twice has the same man started under center for Kelly's Irish for an entire year. Rees' senior season in 2013 and Kaiser in 2016 before he left early for the NFL draft. So just how much does all that QB upheaval matter to a team's success? It's never seemed to bother Kelly.
I'm not sure about crazy, but he's certainly gutsy.
He's always shunned the adage that if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterback. In fact, before the season, he told me having 2 QBs actually calmed him this year.
We have 2 quarterbacks now that combined have won 10 football games for us and beat some quality opposition. So you feel a little bit more relaxed.
And while he went with Wimbush, praising his skills,
and Brandon has the ability to really break open a game.
It was clear Book would always be an option.
Well, his mindset is such that he comes to work every day knowing that I better be ready to step in for Notre Dame and help us win.
He got that chance, and that leads us to this week. Book's explosive outing against Wake has many Irish fans excited and anointing him the starter. But Kelly, he's sticking to the same tune.
We've prepared both quarterbacks. They're both ready to play.
And the quarterback carousel just keeps spinning. Even if Book starts the rest of the season, that's no guarantee for next year. Second seasons have been tough on Kelly's Irish QBs. Just ask Brandon Wimbush for that. And no one can forget that there's this guy who made his debut last week. Phil Jurkovec is right there waiting in the wings. While the future may be bright for all of the seniors on this Notre Dame football team, this was the final time that they'll put on that jersey and that golden helmet. And that includes fifth-year senior and team captain Drew Tranquil, who has been the heart of the Irish team this entire season. He wraps up a memorable career. After the game, I caught up with him about how he was feeling.
Hey, great job.
Drew, there were tears in your eyes when the clocks hit 0. Obviously, very emotional after the game. So what was going through your minds when the game ended?
It's tough. You want to go out on top, and this is the last time I'll get to wear the gold and blue, and this just meant so much to me in my life and taught me so much. So, it's tough to have to walk out on that field and walk off that field rather, and not go out on top.
Does a game like this show that there's still a lot of work that needs to be done to get Notre Dame into that next upper tier of national powerhouses?
Sure, you got to execute when the lights are brightest, and we didn't do that tonight. Offensively, we didn't make the plays we needed. And so whether that's a mentality that needs to take place, more of a dog mentality, certainly I'm sure the coaches will go and evaluate the film and have a better answer than I could give you, but we just have to be able to execute on the big stage.
I know this hurts, but how proud are you of this team and what they were able to accomplish?
I could probably give a better answer after I had time to reflect. Certainly very proud of all the work these guys put in. I love each and every one of them and everything they've put into this program, and they're great representations of Notre Dame and the University of Notre Dame and what we're about. And I'm very proud of what we've been able to do. Certainly disappointed we didn't come out on top.
Given all that you've been through, what has playing for Notre Dame meant to you?
It's been everything. It's been probably the most special 5 years of my life. Certainly the time I've grown the most. And it's going to hurt not being able to go out there. Just wearing street clothes to the games now. But every good thing in life comes to an end, and I trust the Lord's plan for my life, and we'll move on to the next stage and being a dad and everything. But definitely grateful for the time I had here.
Thanks, Drew.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Drew.
Every year, players graduate and leave the program, but a loss of a senior captain like Drew Tranquil certainly stings a little more.
While many kids are spending their summers at camps or in pools, these kids are hitting the links at Island Hills Golf Course. They're a part of the Junior PGA, a golf league for kids ages 13 and under across the country, and now in its 4th year in Southwest Michigan.
We saw a need for getting kids more introduced to the game and in a low-stress competitive atmosphere, and the PGA Junior League was a perfect fit. And boy, we've seen growth every year.
The kids at Island Hills learn the game and compete throughout the summer against other teams in the area. Most of all, though, they have a whole lot of fun.
You don't really need to win. It's just for the fun and being with your teammates. I like that I get to do golf. I get to play on real golf courses. That's what I liked about doing. And I also like playing matches. And the more challenging the course, the more funner it is.
Don't be mistaken, though. Some of these kids have serious game.
It's fun to see them hit shots that maybe your average 13 and under age group child probably shouldn't hit, but it is really fun and it's exciting to watch. And yeah, there is a couple players that when they get up in high school, we'll probably hear about them down the road.
And while they're out there having a blast and learning about driving and putting, they may even be taking away something more.
The game of golf is all about honesty and integrity. It's all about being a good teammate, encouraging your teammates. And so, yeah, they're learning all of those life skills that not only are good for golf, but any other sport they might play and just life in general.
Tomorrow, the South Bend Eastside 10U All-Star Baseball team will compete in the Cal Ripken World Series after last week's victory in the Ohio Valley Regional. The MVP of that tournament was the team's star pitcher, Pearson Salt, who's winning not only on the diamond, but also in the fight against cancer.
Eastside on 3. 1, 2, 3, Eastside!
At a wiffle ball tournament, Pearson Salt looks like just another kid, running around and having fun with his friends. But his story is far from normal. He was just named MVP of the Ohio Valley Regional and now has his team in the Cal Ripken World Series. His prowess on the diamond isn't the only thing that sets him apart, though. 10-year-old Pearson Salt is battling cancer. In January 2017, Pearson complained of pain in his left arm. Doctors originally said it was just growing pain, but unfortunately, it was much more serious. That March, Pearson was diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma.
Words can't explain it. It was very hard, but you had to be strong at the same time for them and for our kids at home.
Yep.
The worst things.
Yeah.
I mean, the worst went through our minds. But he always kept a positive attitude, and he actually got us through it.
Yeah.
He eventually had to have the humerus bone in his left arm removed and replaced. His parents worried for his life. Pearson worried he might never get to play baseball again.
Well, it was pretty hard, but I managed to get through it, and now I'm here going to the World Series.
We weren't allowed to cry in front of him.
Yeah.
He would not allow that. And I'm crying now more post-cancer than I did during. During, you react and you take care of what needs to be done.
What needs to be done, we do.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah. Now you have time to sit back and reflect. And
Last July, they received the good news. Pearson was cancer-free. He finished chemotherapy this past December and now is leading his team to the Cal Ripken World Series.
Well, I just looked back at it. I was like, easy.
we're not the highest, most religious people, but God chose him for a reason. And he proved that you could go through this and come out on the other side and be out here playing baseball again.
Healthy again, Pearson's thoughts are now solely on the diamonds.
I'm just staying focused on the game and not worrying about anything else in the world but just playing the game.
Right where they belong. Now, Pearson's fight is far from over. Despite his test showing greater than 99.9% of the cancer is gone, doctors don't describe childhood cancer as being in remission. Ewing sarcoma can come back and is most likely to within the first 2 years of treatment. Pearson has to continue to go down to Indy every 3 months for checkups for the next year and a half. And if the cancer hasn't returned, then every 6 months for at least the next 5 years. But Pearson and his family aren't thinking about all of that. After all, Pearson has a much more pressing timeline. Starting tomorrow, he and his teammates will try to bring home the Cal Ripken World Series championship. Tonight is the Brady Sports Achievement Awards dinner in downtown Indianapolis. It's one of the most prestigious honors a high school athlete here in Indiana can earn. It's given to just one girl and one boy in the entire state that have overcome adversity
and returns to excel on the field. The girl who won the award this year is Concord senior Alexa Porter. Here is her incredible story.
On December 20th, Concord hosted New Prairie in a girls' basketball game. During that game, Minutemen star senior Alexa Porter took a hard fall and didn't get up. After doing some tests, it was determined Porter had torn her ACL and her season was over. Today, Porter is up and walking and working hard to be back in time for her freshman season at Trine University, where she'll continue her basketball career. After all the battles she's fought throughout her young life, a torn ACL might just be the easiest. Every year, over 2 million kids in the United States will face a period of homelessness. For much of her life, Alexa was a part of that statistic. According to a study of youth in shelters, nearly half reported intense conflict or physical harm by a family member as a major contributing factor to their homelessness. Count Alexa in that group as well. An alcoholic father, a drug-addicted mother, bouncing around from relative to relative, abuse every step of the way. It's a heartbreaking story, but unfortunately, one that's too common. What's uncommon, though, is Alexa Porter's determination to break free.
It gave me hope, through everything, that if I work as hard as I can, I could end up going to college, possibly to get a scholarship for it.
Her way of doing that came through sports. While living in a homeless shelter, Alexa found a basketball game on TV and became hooked. It was around that time that Alexa moved in with an aunt living here in Indiana and enrolled in Concord schools. Despite the unstable living situation, Alexa excelled, both academically, where she boasts a 4.02 GPA, and athletically, where she played 3 sports: cross country, track, and of course, basketball. But during her junior basketball season, right before Concord was about to start sectionals, adversity struck once again. Her aunt was evicted from her home and was leaving for West Virginia. Again facing homelessness, Alexa didn't know what she was going to do. And that's when one of her coaches stepped in.
So one day I came in right before practice, I was upset, and I talked to Coach Reed. I felt was one of the closest people I was with at the time. And I just talked to her about everything that was going on. And then she basically offered me a place to stay. So then ever since then, I've been staying with them.
Terry Reed was the assistant coach for the Concord girls basketball team. She had developed a rapport with Alexa. And when Alexa needed a home, the Reeds took her in.
And to me, it's a no-brainer. Like we said, she's great. She's a great kid. She's a great person. I think that, she deserves nothing but the best. We can bring her to our house and nurture, love, give her all that, then why not?
It's just been fun, and being her dad has been one of the proudest things I've been able to do in I don't know how long.
Now, for the first time, Alexa has a stable home and a family. She will graduate from Concord High School in June and then head down to Trine, where she will play basketball on a full scholarship. Her dream job is to be an anesthesiologist, and while she admits that's a long shot, it'd be foolish to count out anything Alexa Porter sets her mind on.
She's a very smart, talented individual with lots of amazing things in store.
Hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard. And so that's always been my motto, and I feel like if I could get through all that, there's nothing that I'm not going to be able to get through.
Alex Wilcox, News Center 16.